Somebody get that Grimm a motherfucking mic to drop, Jace.
He deserves a mic drop by only saying one word.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
You know, and honestly, that voice, it sounds like the same when Venom called Eddie
Pussy. Let me fix the camera. There we go. All right. It's like that was like a legit surprise. Like, would you ever expect like a talking Grimm?
No, that was
especially from like one of the ones that looks like one of the just a regular wolf looking thing. But then like there's like ones that look more humanoid, like the thing they fought in Volume 4, the Knuckle V or whatever.
Yes, that one was.
Even the ones from like the Apathies from Volume 6 looked more human.
Well, those are like supposed to resemble zombies.
Yeah.
So, of course.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I heard recently, I was reading this on the RWBY Facebook page. They think it's interesting the way that Rooster Teeth has to go about producing RWBY now, because when did Monty Oom pass away? Before season 3?
Before Volume 3, because I remember like Ruby talks to her mom's grave, and then they pan up to the sun, and the birds flying away that resemble how Monty Oom would do his signature. He would basically draw like a sun and some birds in the way that resembled his name, and that's how he'd sign things.
Did he pass away before production, during production, or after production?
They had to switch out Ren's voice actor. So Monty Oum voiced Ren in Volumes 1 and 2, but not 3.
So he didn't voice him at all in Volume 3?
No. It's his brother that took over.
Okay. Well, that's something that I heard. It's like, it seems like Rooster Teeth didn't exactly know how to match his image, so they have to do their own thing with RWBY, because they don't have Monty Oom's direction anymore. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of just, in a way, they're kind of rolling with the punches, but at the same time, it's still a good show.
I still enjoy it.
What's interesting is, like, it almost is like we're seeing the story as they're deciding what it becomes, because...
That's called, like just making it up off the seat of your pants. That type of writing is called pantser. I'm not kidding. There's plotting and then there's pantsing, okay? Plotting...
Pantsing is when you go up to someone and pull down their pants.
I'm aware of this. Like, there's plotting, which is pretty much what, like, the Marvel movies did when they, like, they knew that they wanted to end with, like, the Infinity Saga, and that's what Endgame was. That's what they knew this was all building up to. And then pantsing looks like what they're doing from this point on. We're like, hey, we're going to do a spy movie. We're going to do a kung fu movie. We're going to do a horror movie with Doctor Strange. All right, let's get back to RWBY. What happened last time? Oscar, I really like Oscar. He didn't do anything in Volume 7, and he just got fucked. He got mauled by a dog and then kidnapped. And then that thing just sprouted wings and flew away. And it's like, well, shit. And and people are arguing, like, people are commenting, like, they're really shitting on RWBY. It's like, they shouldn't have fucking split up, idiots.
Just had to make sure we showed that.
Mm-hmm. I did remember in the last episode, they, like, had it in the background and we could see it. And we were like, what the fuck? Is it just fucking watching them?
It was observing them, learning.
And we
didn't even realize it.
Yeah, and then, it was like using... I thought it was just like a really smart Grimm. Like, Salem just like put all of her attention into making this really, really smart. Because it was like using Oscar as a shield. And, I found out. Remember in the last episode, I was like, that one lady from the Happy Huntresses with the green hair, I thought she was transgender. I was wrong. That she is a woman. It's the blue-haired one that can turn invisible is a transgendered person. Thank you, commenters.
The Happy Huntresses, are they called?
I think it's just the Happy Huntresses, not the Happy Huntresses.
Because you know what? You can just look it up on the RWBY wiki.
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to look it up. Her name is May Marigold. She's the one with the blue hair who can turn invisible. Somebody who was a man that is transitioning into being a woman.
Oh, there it is. Trivia. A tweet on December 17, 2019, a tweet from May's voice actress stated that she is the first on-screen transgender character in RWBY.
There you go. So, yeah, it's... Also, that one girl with the green hair in the last episode, I liked her. She was like, she grabbed the mic and from the newscaster was like, show your teeth, Mantle. And they're like, ugh, another fight's breaking out. Can you help me out with this? He's like, I got this. And she's just cracking her knuckles. I'm like, oh, fuck. This lady, Queen, cracks some skulls. And then, so apparently May, the one who can make people invisible, is going up with them to Atlas through the tubes. Yeah, I really hope that, like... I think they split them up, the writers, just because they felt like it was easier to tell it was just easier for them to tell a story than just having like one big squad. You know what I mean? It's easier to tell a story between like two smaller squads.
Remember, this volume is supposed to take place over the span of just 2 days?
Yes. Yes.
How much time do you think has passed in the first 2 episodes?
A few hours. Because in the first episode, it was mostly just them talking about what they're going to do. And then the second episode was mostly... the RWBY... I'm going to call them Team RWBY and Team Yang. Team RWBY, all they did was go to the factory in the second episode and they went up the tubes. And Team Yang...
Weiss got sucked up just because...
Wrong lever! And then Team Yang, they were like evacuating people and like escorting them to safety, which, I mean, that I don't think that took... It probably took like at least an hour.
Something that's... I can understand that why they're making it happen this way. They're portraying their difference in what in opinions on importance. What's important, like attacking Salem's forces, or protecting the people of Mantle, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I can understand why they're both. I understand why the producers are putting that difference of opinion in there, but they seem to be presenting it in a strange way.
Yeah,
it seems more like
it doesn't feel very natural.
It feels like they're still in disagreement, but they're just
like what's really frustrating is there's that part where the one sheep faunus girl from the Happy Huntresses, she's like, I didn't think you guys would be Pocket Dimension, yeah. I didn't think you guys would be as good with only half your team, and they were like, we're fine, and I'm like, they're a little bit of attitude. I'm like, I mean, that's just basic math. I mean, half the team not as good as the whole team. Right. Like, why are you taking such offense to it, Yang? It just feels like it's kind of making me not like the characters, but I hope it doesn't continue because I want to like these characters. I really like Oscar, and he got fucked up by that thing. And right now they're chasing it, and I hope that, like, I remember in the first volume when Yang was just like, she was Bakugoing and flying around. she was flying. We watched My Hero now.
We don't see her doing that anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think she did it when they were fighting the Aesops. Remember, she jumped up, like her and Blake just like bam and got Elm. So I don't know. It just doesn't really feel like she's as like maneuverable, which I guess they're trying to make her like the strong one, like the strongest. The tank, yeah, the strongest but less mobility. I don't know. Please, Oscar, be okay. Don't be kidnapped.
One more thing I mentioned. Yeah. You bringing up the tank. What I've heard this actually came directly from the Spider-Man 2018 video game. Mm-hmm. It was said that don't just go up to someone. Don't go up to someone who's twice as strong as you and start fighting them. But if you absolutely have to, you got to make sure you're quicker. Mm-hmm. If the other guy's stronger, you got to be quicker.
And that reminds me. Oh yeah, I love when they get the motorcycles and they're driving down the street. I love it's so much in Yang's personality. They get the motorcycles. And Oscar's like, no, Yang, please don't, and just boom, and then she pops off the gauntlet to do like a flip. Unnecessary stunt. This is great. All right, let's begin. Let's do it. Didn't even acknowledge the fact that Oscar had been kidnapped.
There is something in that sword.
What, that one sword out of like the 10 swords?
Well, it's got to be. Well, I mean, you got to have copies of the same code.
Yeah,
and all of them.
I'm assuming that he's going to use the just somehow to hack Penny, which is what I was afraid of like last volume. I'm sorry, but I'm a little let down by this episode. We really needed like a mic drop episode or like a mic drop scene. Like, I don't think anything's going to top that. The grim talking from the last episode. I mean, this episode was just pretty standard. Like, they had a mission, and then they did it. That's the end. And the fight was pretty meh. Penny versus Aesop.
They had so much more potential with that fight, but they just wasted it. But then again, it is still.
I mean, okay, I will say this. I did enjoy like the heist parts of it. I really like the part where Penny's explaining Ruby's semblance, and Ruby's like, "What? Did she just figure that out before you did, Blake? She knew you were a faunus before I did." I like the callback. You're right. I was like looking at I was looking at some Rooster Teeth stuff. I think Lindsay Jones is a really good voice actor. She's really good. She plays Ruby, and on Camp she's also Space Kid. All right, so man, there's the part where they're talking about the other team, like, oh yeah, Yang's good, Jean's a good leader, Oscar's grown so much, And I would love to just, they hard cut to them, like, freaking out. Like, give them back, you motherfucker. Like, they're flying through the air, like, dangling and shit, like, trying to blast them out of the air. Just like, oh, they can handle it. Cut to them not handling it. I feel like that would have been really funny. It really upsets me that they didn't even, like, acknowledge that plot line, because I was really invested in that plot line, because
It feels like they're gonna now, like, every
back and forth.
episode, they're gonna back and forth now, so...
I mean, I feel like there should have been, like... I feel like this episode would have benefited if it cut to, like, a B-plot. Like, the main story is, like, the RWBY team going into the Atlas headquarters, and the B team is, like, oh, yeah, Oscar's... Like, the progress with Oscar being taken away. So, yeah, like, do you think those are gonna be, like, scars on Nora's body?
I do.
Yeesh.
And I think, you know how, the fact that you keep saying, you told me how,
What, the Team
Team Juniper is gonna die?
The Team Juniper death theory?
This makes me believe that if that's true, Nora's the next one.
Either Nora or Ren, because she's like, I don't even know who I am without Ren. And like, well, let's find out. And maybe they both die. They kiss and die. And it's just a lesson, like, you know, don't have sex, because you will get chlamydia and die. Wait, you never seen Mean Girls?
That's fucked up. Dude, we literally watched Mean Girls in school. Don't you remember?
I do remember this. Mr. Weeks' class. All right. Man. So, I guess that explains it. Ruby breaks down her body. I guess that explains the rose petals. And then, yeah, she can split apart and then reform, and then that's how it works. And I guess now that's like the added-on rule if she can take other people with her, which I'm kind of down for.
But she's like, well, I'm pushing myself. Which, except she didn't really look like she was pushing herself to do that.
I love the part, yeah, they trip the poor guy with the number one dad mug, except the A was turned into a U, so it's number one dud. And then he pours the coffee, he spills the coffee, and they're like, damn it, Bill, or whatever his name was. And look, read, that's why we have the sign. And it's like, no food in the Central Command, and it's like the shark is a grin. It's so silly. It's like the Jaws poster. Now that I think about it, there is it's like a calmer episode, and I'm kind of down for that. I do. There are a lot of parts of this episode I did enjoy. I just wish like the action stuff. You know why I'm let down is because I had to wait a week for this episode, and I have to wait a week for the next episode, and that's what it is. That's why I keep saying the RWBY.
Welcome to real-time reactions.
Yeah, this is when it comes to RWBY. The best part about it is when you watch all the volumes together in one chunk as a movie. As like a long movie.
For the record, I own the first 7 seasons through iTunes.
Yeah.
So. And it's just one long video. Mm-hmm. It's not seen as a TV show. It's filed as a movie. So
I love the part where Ironwood's just like, I'd hate to have to try to convince you more, Watts. And then card cut to like 4 men aiming their guns. He's like, well, you are quite persuasive. I was rewatching I was editing the last episode when they come in, and then he's like, Watts is just like, he's like, you are aware you've already caught me? And the one dude just, bam, like super fucking hard, just like, oh, police brutality. But you know,
Fuck you, martial law.
He is a cyber terrorist.
All right. Remember, Patreon's a thing.
Patreon is a thing, and if you want to watch full-length reactions for RWBY, $1 a month. People were complaining in the last one about, like, why is he cut down? Because the first one was full-length. The second one wasn't, because I had to cut it down for copyright.
We're going to need to make another video. We need to make a straight video just on Patreon.
Yeah.
Because, but here's the short take. First of all, we can't put copyrighted content behind a paywall.
Mm-hmm. That's why the full lengths are just, it only has like the first 10 seconds so you can sync it up.
You have to put otherwise you need to put your own reference footage in there.
You just can't put it behind a paywall. And then the edited down ones are public. And the first episode was full length because it was the first episode, and that's what we do. It was full length and public. I do like the part where they zip through the Central Command, and then Ruby's just like, or like, she had like 3 fingers up, which I thought was weird. She did like the anime girl pose.
What, with the thumb?
With the thumb, like a peace sign with the thumb. I have to double check.
What's wrong with that?
No one peace signs with the thumb. But then they're all just like, I am not doing that again. So Nora is based off of Thor, and I'm pretty sure Thor died from fighting. He died from fighting a giant snake.
Yes.
In lore, yeah, and it's not relevant to what happened. I mean,
well, you think there's gonna be a giant grim snake?
I mean, there have been giant grim snake.
They haven't been much. They haven't been very threatening though.
Ren is based off Mulan, who committed suicide, and then Jean is based off of Joan of Arc, who was burned at the stake. And then when it came to Pyrrha, she was based off Achilles, and she got hit in the Achilles right before she died. She got hit in the Achilles and then died because that was his weak spot.
That's not called an Achilles.
Yes, it is.
Achilles heel is a term for your weak spot.
Because of Achilles.
Yeah, his weak spot was his ankle.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I'm
his
saying.
heel, whatever. But that's not called an Achilles heel.
It's
your heel.
It's an Achilles. That's why they call it. I tore my Achilles. Moving on.
See you guys in the next episode. I'm Jace. That's Josh. Goodbye.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Bye.